Hello students, welcome to our second video of class 8 Civics, Social and Political Life 3, Chapter 1, the Indian Constitution. In our last discussion, we have discussed on why a democratic country needs a constitution. Now let us try and understand the ways in which the points discussed in the previous video get translated into certain ideals and rules by studying some key features of the Indian Constitution. Let us go back to history. After decades of agitation against the British, India finally got independence from the British rule in the year 1947. But India was going through a period of turmoil. India was partitioned on the basis of religion. Partition of India and Pakistan was a traumatic experience for both the countries, and about 10 lakh people were killed from both sides on partition-related violence. There were other issues as well, for example, regarding the merger of the princely states, and the socio-economic condition of the vast mass of people appeared dismal. Now, imagine yourself as a citizen of the country at the time of partition, how you would want your country to be, though you might have different opinions, but a country where everyone has equal rights would be one of your prime expectations. The long experience of authoritarian rule under the colonial state convinced Indians that free India should be a democracy in which everyone should be treated equally and be allowed to participate in government. What remained to be done then was to work out the ways in which a democratic government would be set up in India and the rules that would determine its functioning. Now, how was this to be done? This was done not by one person but by a group of around 300 people who became members of the Constituent Assembly in 1946 and who met periodically for the next 3 years to write India's constitution. These members of the Constituent Assembly had a huge task before them. The country was made up of several different communities who spoke different languages, belonged to different religions and had distinct cultures. There was an extraordinary sense of unity amongst the members of the Constituent Assembly. Each of the provisions of the future constitution was discussed in great details, and there was a sincere effort to compromise and reach an agreement through consensus. The cabinet mission that came to India in 1946 recommended that a Constituent Assembly would frame the Constitution of India. The members of the Constituent Assembly were elected by the provincial legislative assemblies. Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected its president and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was the chairman of the drafting committee. The constitution was enacted and adopted by the Constituent Assembly on 26th of November 1949. This day is also known as the Constitution Day, and it came into force on 26th of January 1950. And this day is celebrated as the Republic Day of India. The Indian Constitution is a comprehensive document which contains 395 articles and 12 schedules. It is the longest written constitution in the world. Our constitution is a living document. It is not static, as necessary amendments can be introduced in it to incorporate the interest of the people. The introduction to the constitution is called its Preamble. It declares India to be a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and sets out the basic ideals of the Indian Republic. These 5 words define the nature of the Indian state. A sovereign state. India is a sovereign state. It means it is independent and free from any control by a foreign state. Socialist state. A socialist republic would seek to eliminate inequality in incomes. It ensures for its people adequate means of livelihood and fair distribution of wealth. A secular state. A secular state does not make any discrimination on grounds of religion. Democratic state. Democracy means government of the people, by the people and for the people. Republican state. The term republic denotes that India does not have a hereditary monarch or a queen. The head of the Indian Union is the president. The basic objects or ideals of the Indian Republic are justice, liberty, equality, fraternity. Fraternity that would assure the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. Do you know, the words socialist, secular and unity and integrity of the nation were added to the Preamble in 1976 by the 42nd Amendment Act of 1976. Key features of the Constitution. Federalism. This refers to the existence of more than one level of government in the country. In India, we have governments at the state level and at the center. Panchayati Raj is the third tier of the government. And you have read about this in your class 6 book. We have also looked at the functioning of the state government in your class 7 book. And this year you will read more about the central government. Under federalism, the states are not merely agents of the federal government but draw their authority from the constitution as well. All persons in India are governed by laws and policies made by each of these levels of government. Although if there is a conflict between a union law and a law passed by the state legislature, the union law shall prevail over any state law. Parliamentary form of government. The different types of government that you just read about consist of representatives who are elected by the people. Constitution of India guarantees universal adult suffrage for all citizens. This means that the people of India have a direct role in electing their representatives. Also, every citizen of the country, irrespective of his or her social background, can also contest in elections. These representatives are accountable to the people. Separation of powers. According to the Constitution, there are three organs of government. These are the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. The legislature refers to our elected representatives. The executive is a smaller group of people who are responsible for implementing laws and running the government. The judiciary refers to the system of courts in this country. In order to prevent the misuse of power by any one branch of government, the Constitution says that each of these organs should exercise different power. Through this, each organ acts as a check on the other organs of government, and this ensures the balance of power between all three. Fundamental rights. The fundamental rights has often been referred to as the conscience of the Indian Constitution. Fundamental rights protects citizens against the arbitrary and absolute exercise of power by the state. The Constitution thus guarantees the rights of individuals against the state as well as against other individuals. The fundamental rights in the Indian Constitution include right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, right to constitutional remedies. Apart from fundamental rights, there are fundamental duties and directive principles of state policy. Secularism. A secular state is one in which the state does not officially promote any one religion as the state religion. We will read more about this in our next chapter. I hope so you now understand the ways in which a country's history often determines the kind of constitution that a country adopts for itself. The Constitution plays a crucial role in laying out the ideals that we would like all citizens of the country to adhere to, including the representatives that we elect to rule us. Indian Constitution has been amended over the years to reflect new concerns of the polity. Often a major change in the Constitution means a change in the fundamental nature of the country. We saw this in the case of Nepal and how it needed to adopt a new constitution after it became a democracy. The different features of the Indian Constitution outlined above involve complicated ideas that are often not easy to grasp. So do not worry too much about this. For the moment, in the rest of the book, you will read more about these different features of the Indian Constitution and understand more substantially what they mean. Let us summarize what we have learned. The Constitution of India is the longest written constitution in the world. It came into effect on 26th of January 1950. Dr. Bhim Rao Ambedkar is known as the father of the Indian Constitution. The key features of the Indian Constitution are federalism, parliamentary form of government, separation of power, fundamental rights, and secularism. Fundamental rights include right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, right to constitutional remedies. Let us see what you have grasped today. So here is question number 1 for you. The Constitution of India came into effect on, the options are A. 15th of August 1947, B. 26th of January 1950, C. 26th of November 1949, or D. 14th August 1947? And the correct answer is B. 26th of January 1950. The next question is, Das is also known as the father of the Indian Constitution. And the options are A. Mahatma Gandhi, B. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, C. Sardar Patel, D. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. And the correct answer is D. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. The third question is, Panchayati Raj is the dash star of the government. And their options are A. First, B. Second, C. Third, or D. Fourth. And the correct answer is C. Third. When all the citizens of a country are equal before the law, it implies dash. And their options are A. Parliamentary rule, B. Independence of the judiciary, C. Right to equality, or D. Fundamental rights. And the correct answer is C. Right to equality. Now it's practice time. Here is some home task for you. In each of the following situations, identify the minority. Write one reason why you think it is important to respect the views of the minority in each of these situations. Your first situation is, in the city, 5% of the population are Buddhist. And your second situation is, in the factory mess, for all employees, 80% are vegetarians. In our next video, we'll go back to history, chapter 2, from trade to territory. Till then, take care of yourself, stay home, stay safe. Thank you.